Today on the Tirobhav Mahotsav of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we read Srimad Bhaktivinoda Viraha Dashakam from the Kirtan Guide by Srila Bhakti Rakak Siddhadev Goswami Maharaj. Alas, alas, O Bhaktivinoda Thakur, O Supreme Guru, for 22 years this world has been plunged into misfortune, long grief-stricken in your intolerable separation. You are the divine potency of Sri Gora, and you graciously made your advent in this earthly plane. Being attracted by the living being's virtuous deeds performed throughout many lifetimes. Since I am lowly and very wretched, it was not my luck to reach the ocean that bestows the fortune of surrender, the ocean of the ecstasy of bathing in a particle of the dust of your holy lotus feet. Yet due to your magnanimous nature, you give your grace to the whole world, personally revealing your super-eminence as the personification of the mercy potency of Sri Gauranga. That is, by coming into this world, I received his grace. O Lord, even all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma feel frustrated by their inability to fittingly sing the glories of all your divine qualities. What then can be said of the attempt of a fallen soul, a mere human like me? Surely the learned will never waste their eloquent words eulogizing this statement, since even the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna himself, has sung in the scriptures his celebrated confession, Na paraye ham, I am unable to reciprocate your devotion. At a time when religion was evaluated in terms of bodily relationship, saintliness was determined by ignorance, and yoga practice was motivated by sensual pleasure. When scholarship was cultivated just for voidism, japa was conducted for the sake of fame, and penance was performed out of vindictiveness. When charity was given out of pride, and on the pretext of spontaneous devotion, the most gross sinful acts were perpetuated. And in all such anomalous situations, even the intelligentsia were at loggerheads with one another. At that very time, you were sent by the Almighty Creator. As the universally cooling moon is beautified by diffusing its nectarian rays, nourishing the plants and inciting the twinkling of the stars, your holy advent in this world is similarly ascertained as satisfying the pure devotional scriptures through profound study and blessing the learned with full-blown happiness by the perfect axiomatic conclusions descending in divine succession. With your appearance, the ecstasy of the devotees knows no bounds. By writing many books and by multifarious methods recognized by the pure devotees, you have demonstrated the preaching of pure devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, for the benefit of the whole world. We have heard of similar achievements in previous times by stalwart scholars such as Sri Ramanuja and many other acharyas. But the glory of you, the very embodiment of the nectar of divine love, does not end, cannot be confined here. Merely the effulgence of his divine abode has been designated by the title Brahman in the Vedas, and only the expansion of an expansion of his expansion is thought after with great tribulation by the foremost yogis. The most exalted of the liberated souls shine resplendent as the bumblebees at his lotus feet. The primeval origin of even the original Sri Narayan, who is the Lord of the spiritual sky, above Brahman. He is the original Supreme Lord, the supreme personification of all nectarian mellows, Sri Krishna. And he is the one that you give. Situated in the topmost region of the absolutely inconceivable spiritual sky is the holy abode of Sri Vrindavan Dham, in the spiritual planet known as Goloka. There, surrounded by Shakis, Srimati Radhika revels in the mellows of divine pastimes. With great ecstasy, she expands the joy of loving sweetness in the service of Sri Krishna Chandra, who is otherwise served in 4 relationships up to parenthood. You, O Thakur Bhaktivinod, can give us the service of that holy Dham. The internal purport is known to Sri Swarup Damodar by the sanction of Sri Gaurachandra, of that which is adored by Sri Sanatan Goswami and distributed by the preceptors realized in transcendental mellows headed by Sri Rupa Goswami, that which is tasted and enhanced by Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, and followers and carefully protected by the votaries headed by Sri Jiva Goswami, and that which from a respectful distance is venerated by great personalities such as Sri Sukha, Lord Shiva, the chief of the demigods, and Lord Brahma, the grandfather of all beings. O wonder of wonder, the nectarian rapture of servitude unto Sri Radhika, that too you can give to us. Where am I, so lowly and fallen, and where are you, the great soul who delivers the universe? O Lord, by your grace you are sure to forgive my offenses. O ocean of mercy, in the dust of your lotus feet, I pray for just this benediction. Kindly make my life successful by recommending me for admission into the group of Sri Vasabhanavi Deity Das, who is the dearmost one in your heart. Jai. Srimad Bhaktivinoda Viraha Dashikam Ki Jai. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sachi Devi Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Saraswati. Then we also include.
Srila Gurudev also is explaining a little bit more about that, what you just read.
Yeah.
In this verse. Dandava pranams to everyone. Here.
Okay. And then the glorification after that?
Yes.
The worship of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj glorifies Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, explaining his connection with Sri Gadadhar Pandit and his worship of Sri Sri Gaura Gadadhar in Nadia Lila. Today is the disappearance day of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and I will try to glorify Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur a little. When Srila Guru Maharaj was in Sri Gaudiya Math, some years after he took sannyas, he composed a Sanskrit poem in remembrance of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the Bhaktivinoda Viraha Dashakam. Srila Guru Maharaj did not first compose anything about Srila Saraswati Thakur. He wanted to attract Srila Saraswati Thakur, so he first composed something about Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He offered his poem to the hand of Srila Saraswati Thakur, and Srila Saraswati Thakur began scrutinizing the poem very closely. But after reading 3 or 4 verses, Srila Saraswati Thakur forgot his scrutiny and said, "It is written in a very happy style." After reading the whole poem, Srila Saraswati Thakur very happily responded, "After me, there will be someone in the world who can perfectly carry Mahaprabhu's flag in the line of the Rupanuga Sampradaya. Seeing this, I am very happy." From that day, Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur changed his vision of Srila Guru Maharaj wholesale, and later he examined Srila Guru Maharaj many times. Srila Saraswati Thakur was very happy to see that the line of the Rupanuga Guru Varga would continue. In the Bhakti-Vinod Viraha Dashikam, Srila Guru Maharaj expressed everything about Srila Bhakti-Vinod Thakur in a very concise way. Later, Srila Guru Maharaj says, "The poem was the reason I was given charge of the Rupanuga Sampradaya. The last verse is very nice. Who am I? I am a very unfortunate conditioned soul. I am a very fallen soul. But you are a Patita Pavan, a Vaishnava Thakur, a great Vaishnava, who is a savior of the fallen. If I... If I have made any offenses in composing these verses, please forgive me. I pray at your lotus feet for the boon that I will have the strength needed to follow your dearmost Srila Saraswati Thakur and carry out his orders as his dear associate. In this way, I pray that you count me as a member of your Sampradaya." Srila Guru Maharaj said that as Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur was reading this verse, he first noticed that Srila Guru Maharaj was asking Bhakti-Vinod Thakur for a boon in the conclusion of his poem. What kind of boon is he going to ask for? Is he going to make a massacre here at the end? But when Srila Prabhupada saw his name there, Varsabhanavi Deity Das, and understood that Srila Guru Maharaj was praying only to be engaged in his service, he was very happy. He accepted and appreciated Srila Guru Maharaj's prayer. In this way, Srila Guru Maharaj composed many verses about Srila Bhakti-Vinod Thakur. So where can we find because this goes on it's very long. And also today we remember the disappearance day of Srila Gadadhar Pandit, and we read from a talk from Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj, in which he describes the heart of the Lord's most intimate associates, Pandit Sri Gadadhar. Oh, it is translated from the original Bengali article published in honor of Srila Gadadhar Pandit's appearance day in Sri Gaudiya Darshan. This is from Sri Gaudiya Darshan. The highest perfection in the world of the soul is to relish the rasa of Sri Krishna's pastimes, rasuvasa. He is rasa, as Sri Krishna is playful, lilamoy, and his endeavor to spread rasa is self-manifest. His nature is to outwardly generate spiritual happiness. When Sri Krishna, the Akila Rasamrita Murti, the embodiment of the nectar of all rasas, Satyam Shivam Sundaram, the personification of truth, auspiciousness and beauty, becomes eager to widely distribute his own pastimes, he divides himself into the Panchatattva and reveals the supreme greatness of his ecstatic name, form, qualities, pastimes and associates. Srila Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu represented his composition in a verse. The meaning of this verse is that Sri Krishna manifests with his own energy in 5 forms and eternally distributes himself in connecting with such pastimes. Sri Gauranga appeared with Sri Gadadhar in Sri Navadvip Dham and began his work at the proper time, while secretly performing pastimes as a human child. Sri Gadadhar Pandit remains behind Sri Gauranga like a shadow. He hangs behind the Lord as a slight, unexpressed protest to the Lord's great campaign of distributing the jewel of divine love from their joint store. Sri Krishna is distributing Sri Radhika's divine love. Remaining at a distance, Sri Nityananda is giving him enthusiasm. Sri Advaita Acharya and others are busy and happy with the work of distributing the holy name. But Sri Gadadhar Pandit's mood is somewhat independent. He is Sri Gauranga's eternal associate. He cannot conceal anything from the Lord for even a moment, and yet he cannot be sympathetic to or happy about this special endeavor of the Lord to take and distribute their joint wealth. First he objected to Sri Gauranga's sannyas lila. He tried to stop the Lord's sannyas by appealing that his mother needed help, but he could not be left behind by that sannyasi, Sri Gauranga. In preaching, when other devotees enthusiastically assist, Sri Gadadhar's silent observer, he does not want to leave his circle. He prefers his own association, his Brahminical disposition, and serving separately at home. Then he will serve Sri Gauranga according to his own conception. This is his unavoidable innermost want and desire. It is as though everyone is getting, but he is losing. In a phrase, it is as though Sri Gauranga is distributing Sri Gadadhar's wealth, and Sri Gadadhar feels some discomfort. The residents of Braja cannot leave Braja, but they do not see you, Krishna. They will die. So what can they do? Gadadhar is feeling something like that. The great souls have said that Sri Krishna performed pastimes as Sri Gauranga to clear his debt from Brajalila. But what is this? In Sri Gauranga and his endeavor to clear his debt is found the hidden intention of creating more debit and remaining sold even longer to whom he is indebted. For this reason, in particular, those who are expert in fine jewels have recognized Sri Kadada Pandit as Sri Radhika. Om Tat Sat Om Jai. Sri Kadada Pandit ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Hari Yadaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Sri Saraswat Sri Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Radhaka Srila Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai, Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Bhargava Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Sapashara Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Sapashara Sri Mamara Prabhu Ki Jai, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Prabhu Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Kiri Govardhan Ki Jai, Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai, Ganga Yamuna Chil Ki Jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat Ki Jai, Sri Navadvitam Ki Jai, Sri Madhudam Ki Jai, Sri Vrindavanam Ki Jai, Sri Purushottamadam Ki Jai, Jagannath Baladev Sundaraju Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Islam Chapter Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Gospel Chapter Ki Jai, Samadveta Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Samadveta Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Srila Bhavna Motsav Ki Jai, Srila Pandit Kadar, Sri Pandit Kadar Goswami Srila Bhavna Motsav Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki